Welcome to sunny Sheffield on my unofficial birthday. No. I'm just going to plane this side of the body off because it's a little bit higher after we've glued it before we prepare the routing. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now we can mark up for the routing positions. We now need to re-establish the centre line, which is very important for our marking up. So I'm going to run the ruler down the centre of the fret dots, and we can just see the old marking is in line, but it's always worth double and triple checking because this is very important. And then we can mark it from on the flat like this. We're going to really bring that line into clear view. The next important measurement we want to make is the scale length position. So we're going to measure that from the 24th fret, and with our scale length that means it's 155 millimeters. Always mark in the ruler a little bit because the end of the ruler is not always that accurate, and we want 155, which we've already marked it once just to speed things up a little bit, and the same again there. So then we're going to draw a very strong bridge position line across there. Okay, now this is the bridge we're going to use, and when we set the bridge to the furthest most position, we then have got the maximum amount of adjustment, since the bridge is always set to the scale length or longer. And we have the front of the bridge 11 millimeters from the frontmost bridge position. We are then going to mark a position 11 millimeters in front of our scale length, which we've already marked up there, so we're going to bring that in, and this is quite key to some of our further measurements. So the first pickup is going to go right up to the fretboard. So if we measure this up, we can then work out a centre line for the pickup, and we can mark where that centre line is going to go based on the holes here. And then the other position is to some degree an aesthetic position, how it looks. We don't want to be too close to the bridge, we don't want to be too far away, and it's really just the ratio of the gap between the pickup surrounds, and you have a little fiddle around and a little play, and we've established a position here which we're happy with, which is leaves a gap of about 5 or 6 millimeters in front of the bridge. So we can then mark up where this is going to be routed out. And then we're not going to route it out, we're going to make up a template with a piece of acrylic, and that will be our guide for routing. On the acrylic blank, what I'm going to do is place this up against the fretboard and then mark our scale length position, looking at the edge of the acrylic rather than the edge of the fretboard to where we're going. In this case, it's a nice round figure, it's 147 millimeters. So we can then mark up the acrylic. Let's do a centre line. From there, continue to mark up the guides for the bridge and the pickup recesses, including the pickup mounting brackets, allowing a little bit of extra space around the components, but making sure that you don't go beyond the pickup mounting rings. Okay, righto. So we just got to bang it on the router, route out these guides, and then we have our template. Going to use this Dremel to route out the acrylic to provide our template, using a straight edge here to give a guide for our straight lines, and the key is to do lots of small depth cut passes so that we don't overheat the acrylic, in which case that'll melt and cause real problems. I've stuck the acrylic sheet onto a piece of plywood with double-sided tape, so that when the router goes through the acrylic, it just cuts the plywood sheet rather than the workbench. There we go. One template. We've mounted our template raised up from the body so that the router won't catch the fretboard as we do the routing. We're going to use two routing bits. The first one is a wider routing bit which will do the heavy work, and then this final routing bit will do the tight corners. The routing bits have got a bearing on the shaft, and this allows the bearings to follow the template precisely, so we then get a precise routing of the body. Right, so now what we've got to do is just reposition the template, put it down onto the body, because the bridge routing is a little bit deeper and we haven't got the capacity with that router to achieve that in one go. Okay, let's just finish off around the little corners with a small piece. Take the template off, see what it looks like. Oh yes. That's the body routed, from the front anyway. And there we go. Ready for the next step.